Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Marcus and today in this video I'm going to share with you how to design this really cool poster using Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. So let's get started. Before we jump in designing stuff, I'm just going to share with you what we're going to be doing in Illustrator and in Photoshop and how is the process overall. So we're going to start by designing this amazing typography composition in Illustrator. Then we're going to do this really cool graphics using some really nice gradients, create this sphere, and then using the radial gradient tool to create these sphere highlights. Use the plane tool to create a little extra elements, and then we're going to bring all of these designs back to Photoshop, where we're going to add a little bit of distortion. Then we're going to add some textures and some grain. Yeah, let's start then. So I'm going to use 1700 by 2400 pixels in RGB and just press create. I'm going to go back to my poster initials just to get as a reference. Here as you can see all the typography composition, all the elements, really nice and tidy vectors. Create a little reference on the side and let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is create a background. We're going to go use the rectangle tool, really nicely make a background the same size of our artboard, 1700 by 2400. Be sure to align it, change it to black, move this to the side, and let's just gonna start with the typography. Let's get our type tool and then just maybe outside of the artboard so we can see it, because the type will be black. Origin is way too small. Let's just increase the size so we can see it. Make it all caps and change the font to Helvetic. I want a condensed one, so be like Helvetic New Condensed Black. Yeah, perfect. Let's change it to white and scale it up really nicely. Origin, yeah. And then let's just add the Japanese the Japanese version for Origin. So I just went to Google and I just, oh, nice video. I just went to Google and then I just did Origin in Japanese. I just trust Google. And then just duplicate this layer, then write it Origin like this. I'm gonna get some rulers out of here just to make sure we can align this perfectly. Let's just make sure, actually, right click, create outlines, just to be sure my text is properly aligned. Unlock these rulers because they're always locked. Hide rulers. No, what's going on? Where is the... Can I move them? No. View guides. Unlock guides. Yeah. Just gonna unlock these guides. Be sure they align perfectly there. And then just push this down. I'm gonna outline this text as well. Be sure to do this and then scale it up like this. So they're perfectly aligned. Oh, not there though. It's always tricky with these Japanese characters because they have these little bits that go a little bit further. So maybe I will just adjust this one to go exact to the path there. And the same thing here. Hopefully this is not going to ruin the meaning, but just a few paths I'm pushing. It's nice sometimes if you need to adjust the typography anyway, so to make it a little bit more strong for our designs. Cool, now I'm just going to make these little bars there. I'm gonna go to the toolbar again, get the rectangle tool, make a really nice bar. Be sure it's like a round number, maybe 75 would be alright. And then duplicate this one using the Alt and Shift key, select them both, go to Object, Blend, Make, and then select the blending mode, maybe increase to 9. 10 will be probably too much, so maybe we just leave it 9 and then we just space them together a little bit like this. Go to Object again and then expand those blends. Cool, and then right click and ungroup them. Let's apply a nice gradient to each of these ones. Damn. And then to the other ones as well. Apply the same gradient, but this time we're going to actually change the angle to -180 to create this really cool light effect. It feels like there's a stroke, but no, just a distance in between them. It's not perfectly done, so I'm just going to manually to this distance as well. Make it match there. Oops, just gonna do it and done. No, I think I failed it. Oh my god, no, let's go back here and done. I shouldn't be recording this tutorial. I don't know. And be sure to be perfect. Yeah, great. I really like this effect when you have like two gradients going different directions, even though they have the same colors. It always works really nicely. So I'm gonna select this. I actually need to open a little bit more space on the bottom for those graphics, so I'm gonna just select it all. I'm gonna lock the background layer using Ctrl or Command 2. Select it all, scale it down a little bit, push it up, just so I open a little bit of space. And again, need to use my guides, adjust them again, like this. Oops, why is this one not going then? Is this one locked? Oh, maybe it was locked because it was close to the background? No, maybe. Oops, what's going on? Why is this guide locked? The rulers, no guides. Yeah. Anyway, just not gonna fight it, just gonna make a new one. And is there a locked layer here? Oh, there's a locked guide. Anyway, solved it and just make it a no guide here. And perfect. Now let's make this really nice sphere. Let's go get our ellipse tool. Make a perfect sphere using the Alt and Shift key, apply a gradient, and on this gradient we're gonna change the colors. Let's just click on the color here, and let's start with a really nice dark red, something like this. Let's make it reddish. Yeah, really nice dark red. And then we're gonna make a copy using Alt, something brighter. And then another copy, we make it something even brighter, like creating this difference of the colors there, like a colored spectrum or something. And again, a lighter yellow until we reach the full white. Now just change the gradient to radial, and using the gradient tool, sorry, a squirrel just jumped on my window and I got scared. Just using the radial gradient window, let's just adjust this gradient really nicely. Let's move it here and then just change it there a little bit. Make it a little bit more oval so the gradient involves in this part as well. Involves? No. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right word. Anyway, just going to move it and something like this. It's perfect. I think I need a little bit more bars there, so I'm gonna make a few copies. And let's create the little squares we have on the bottom here. Let's go to the tool bar here, make a little square, change it to white. We need a solid color now, not a gradient color. Make it white, make a copy here, and make it, oops, make a copy here and make it black. And select them both. I use a shortcut for the blend actually, sorry, I just use Alt, Command or Control B. This is a shortcut for the blend tool, and then you can just increase the number of steps, creating this really nice effect there. And let's make that bar. I'm actually gonna make a solid here just to get the exact spacing between the top and the bottom, and then I'm gonna make it down here so I can just respect the margins. And that next bar, I'm gonna make a new one, just make it a copy. And the next bar, how does the bar works there? Okay, it's on the bottom. I'm gonna decrease the size as well, make it a little bit smaller, maybe 1000 pixels, because I don't need to have a space for the other logos. I'm gonna copy the same gradient as before, change it to linear, and make this bar actually what's the name? 50 pixels, not 550. Perfection. And just going to make it facing down here. And then create a little square for the YouTube logo. Like I was trying to go for like a retro logo vibe. That's why it's like with the Times New, what's the name of that font? The serif font? Times New Roman. With the Times New Roman one. Just gonna make it inside stroke. And then we're gonna use YT and Times New Roman. And change it to white. And maybe not, maybe a little bit smaller. No, that's the bold version almost. Anyway, let's just change this stroke to something less colorful, just white as well. And reduce the stroke to 3. Perfect, this is looking really nice already. And you don't need this anymore. Let's just make the 3M logo, which is the easiest logo to make ever. I don't know if it's the easiest, but it's such a simple and strong logo anyway. I think it's just Helvetica, I guess. Helvetica. And it's red. That's it. It's just such a good logo execution because it's just like, it's memorable. And I don't know, I never forget this logo. It's so strong. And I think 3M used to do this like video cassettes back in time. I saw a reference for his like style, and all of them had like a 3M logo. I think 3M does everything. Anyway, cool. The poster in Illustrator is done. We just need to add this little shiny bit, which is really easy to do. So let's do it. Let's go get our ellipse tool, make a nice ellipse, make it white, then go to Effects, Distort and Transform, Pucker and Bloat, -100, and perfect. There we go. Perfect, let's jump into Photoshop now. Let's just delete this reference. This poster is done. We're gonna select this poster, Command C to copy, go to Photoshop, make a new document. I'm gonna use a 1700, 2400, same specs as before, press OK. I'm gonna paste it as a smart object as always. And then let's start. So the first thing I want to do here is add some distortions. So I'm gonna go to Filter and then select Liquify. I'm just gonna make a little bit of, not too much, I just want to make it these little details, like, I don't want it to make it a perfect poster. I want it to have a little bit of personality as well. So a little bit like this. And if you're not happy with the distortion you made, you can always just click Restore All, and it goes back to what it was. And because this is a smart object, if you click again, you can always keep distorting the effect because it's not destructible. It doesn't destroy your design, it just keeps it as a smart filter, which is cool. Next, let's go make a new layer and fill it with a black color. And then let's go to Filter, Noise, and Add Noise. As you can see, this will be our noise layer. Let's just add 30%, uniform and monochromatic. This is mostly like what's your taste about noise. You can add more if you want to, of course. And I also like to play around with the screen, which is like overlays the noise everywhere really nicely. It makes it look like like everything is really nice space. It's not a old poster, but if you overlay it, it actually creates this really strong contrast on the poster, which I like. But then the noise doesn't affect much the white parts, which is a little bit annoying. But I really like the way it works on the darker parts, which is really nice. You can play with the both, just duplicate your layer and then apply one with the overlay and other one with screen. Then you have the best of both worlds. Then I just overlaid some textures that I got on the internet, like some paper scan textures. I just need to open my other one here. I'm just gonna drag and drop it because I believe on your skills to go to Behance and just search. Maybe I have on my other tab, let's just double check. Yeah, if you go to Behance, you can actually just search plastic texture free or like photocopy texture for free, and you always will find something useful and for free. You can always also get a subscription for Envato Elements, which is amazing service. I use it every day for work. But if you're just doing this for like personal projects, I don't think it's worth it spending money on another subscription in your life. Anyway, I was talking way too fast. I need to drink some water for sure. Just a quick sip. Okay. It dries my mouth when I speak this fast, and yeah, oversharing. And then I'm gonna make another texture here, overlay it. This already carries the blending modes I was using before, which it was screen, where you can always play a little bit with other blending modes. Maybe overlay as well. Too much overlay actually burns down the poster, but if that's what you're looking for, it's always good to experiment. And yeah, I think I'm really happy with the result. I think it's a little bit too dark here, but I definitely can add an adjustment layer with some curves and just brighten up a little bit, even make it way more cooler than before. Yeah, you can always push the whiteness a little bit and also reduce the opacity of these layers if there's too much. But it will depend on which look you are looking for. But yeah, I'm really happy about this. And then you can always like apply this to your you can always download the poster mockup on Behance as well and apply your design into it, which is a great way to show off on your social media. Like if you just show it the poster on the mockup like this, it adds a little bit of more of a story into the poster, which is nice. And yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, a good life. Cheers. Bye bye.